dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. How are you this morning? Tudo bem? Como estás? Let me know in the chat. You'll be in good company on the show this morning. Yes, it's a coach party. If you add Coach Turner to that mix as well, a bit of a thorn among roses, if you don't mind me saying so. I'm sure he won't. This morning we have three fabulous women coaches. The first one before 9 this morning, the coach who helps you move to Portugal. That'll be Jackie A of Expats Portugal, who'll be popping in before 9 to let us know what's going on over at EPHQ at around 9. Yes, we missed her last month, and I think it's important that we re-celebrate her birthday. I think she's had a birthday since we last saw her. That'll be Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting. Me and Mrs. M are embarking on setting up a business here. We are in business in Portugal, and we use the green receipts system for our work, and we're in the process of setting up a company now. And Raquel is guiding us with that and can guide you too if that's what you would like to do. Very interesting lady, full of energy, full of beans, and great fun to talk to. She'll be with us at 9. And at 9:30, new girl, Marion Guerre, a German life coach who specializes in working in the outdoors. Let's give you a bit of a taster of that. Should we start the show this morning with some Qigong? We're going to be going back to Nazaré with some much better footage of the big waves that João Denort has captured for us. A couple of videos from Nazaré, a beautiful set of azulejo tiles in a church in the Algarve from Anna, Sweden, Portugal. And we'll have a look at Pete's electric tickler, which we didn't manage to see yesterday, and a massive slideshow of Pete's olive picking as well to share with you this morning, among many other things. So let's have a bit of a Qigong to begin with this morning, shall we? That, as you could see there, was a sensory footpath. I thought that might happen. We'll come back to that because we'll be talking to Marion all about what she does, including the sensory footpath, barefoot broadcasting, barefoot life coaching as well. Let's have a look at the Qigong. Yes, Walkspiria. That's Marion's company. Met Marion at the recent wine tasting at the Storytellers that I was writing about last night, actually. And what was that? There was a noise in the studio, which I didn't make. Maybe a cat lurking behind the lights here somewhere. Yeah, we'll talk to Marion at around 9:30 in what I suspect might be a residency here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Yes, if you're expecting Corey, who was going to be talking about, he asked me to ask you if there was anything you wanted to know about AI. He's joining us on Friday. My mistake. He was always going to be here on Friday. I just got the feeling he was here today. Ask anything about Portugal Wednesday. And of course, tomorrow, Veronica and Carl Hyde, the gentleman in Lisbon, and the American in the Algarve, Veronica and Carl will be with us to look at beautiful properties in those respective places that they serve. Okay. Let's see who's here this morning. Coach Turner is in and attracted by the word coaches this morning on this coach party special. That's 4 coaches on your screens this morning if we include Coach Turner here, who tells us training completed yesterday. What time was this then, Coach T? 7:39 this morning. Training completed yesterday, and aside from the normal Achilles stiffness, first thing in the morning, I suspect no adverse effects. Rest today, though, will be walking to coffee. Walking to coffee is a rest in Coach T's world, and T-Duck responding with a bit of uncoaching. Should we call it uncoaching? Good morning, Coach. I heard they found a peephole. What? In the girls' locker rooms? The police are looking into it. Oh, dear. Do not encourage that sort of behavior, whether you're the police or not, here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Over the years, I've been fortunate enough to have had a number of mentors who have helped me in a variety of ways. If you're looking to start doing more, and more exercise specifically, maybe look for a mentor. Well, look no further than Coach T in our community here. If it's personal fitness and growing old disgracefully you're interested in a God Squad style, they may be a coach, personal trainer, teacher, or just a wise old head. We all need a wise old head in our lives, don't we? But they will be invaluable, not only to help you start, but to continue on your journey. Yeah, someone who challenges you from time to time, right, as well as supports you. That's the mark of a good coach, isn't it? Not so much that you don't want to work with them anymore. Maybe in that moment you don't, but you think, yeah, fair play. That was a good call. What do you call a free treadmill outside? Very good. Thank you. And I'm loving the chemistry. Get a gym, you two. T-Duck, Bon di Alegria at 7:51. See you later, mate, at the meetup today. Now, a venue change. I was delighted to invite everybody for the meetup today to Tudo na Brasa in Salida de Porto. However, as soon as I posted it, thank you, Maria, for being quick on the uptake and saying to me, I think it might be closed tomorrow, Wednesday. I checked, she checked, and it is indeed shut. On the day we want to go there, so we will be at the San Martino Bistro with a T, here in the Bay. And I'm not sure as a group we've ever sat so close to the sea, so it will be lovely there. The service is friendly, and by that, I'm euphemistically referring to how it might be a little bit easygoing in there. So if you're hungry, eat first. And prepare for a little bit of a wait, especially if loads of us turn up today and all order food at the same time. Nice atmosphere, nice people. I've had some great meals in there. I'm already receiving mixed reviews about the food, but come and see for yourself and join us between 1 and 3. And I'm sure we can have a little toddle and stroll on the beach as well at some point during the proceedings. Deep thought then from T-Duck. The fact that a great many people believe something is no guarantee of its truth. That is William Somerset Maugham, was an English writer known for his plays, novels, and short stories. The fact that a great many people believe something is no guarantee of its truth. Yes, it could go either way, that, could it not? And the fact that only a few people believe something also doesn't mean it's not true, right? Looking at it from the other side there. T-Duck, thank you for those dad jokes as well, which I'm squirreling away for later. We'll share those with, that'll be interesting, won't it? Our German life coach. I'm always fascinated by the interplay between the British and German senses of humor. Sometimes they match beautifully, and sometimes a little bit of a tumbleweed moment. I don't know what German for tumbleweed is. I imagine it's about 32 letters long. Can you imagine tumbleweed in German? It's going to be a very big word or phrase, that, isn't it? We'll see how Marion copes with the dad jokes later on. Das Farty gags, I think, as they say in German. Seriously, yeah, farty is, that's a dad joke in itself, isn't it? Farty is German for daddy, is it not? I'll miss most of the show today, as we'll be on the road, but we will be at the meetup. See you there, T-Duck and the Cisco Kid Slug this morning saying, Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz carta todos, tudo bem. Mindful moment from the Slug. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. Love a bit of Rumi. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. I think Marion might appreciate that sentiment with her barefoot coaching and walking in the outdoors. Deagle in at, when was this? 8:30, just when the show started then, or a minute before. Bon dia, Carl and Gumbers from a dry, sunny 7-degree Belfast. Should climb to double digits, but a hug your partner night. In bed, a cool 2 degrees. Do you love me? Yes. Yeah, of course I do. You're just keeping warm, aren't you? Yeah. And who are you again? Oh, wrong bedroom. Be careful. Bon dia Alegria from a sunny VRSA, 25 degrees yesterday, which is a great cue from the Sweden Portugal to have a look at this beautiful video that she sent in. A minute of the wonderful atmosphere, the seasoned atmosphere of a church in VRSA, and some beautiful azulejo tiles. If you like azulejo tiles and you're listening to the podcast, that could be awkward. Suggest you watch this if you like your azulejos. Have a look at this on the YouTube channel, where we've just clocked up 1,800 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for being there. Let's have a look at those azulejo tiles now, and we'll get ready to welcome Jackie A from Expats Portugal, telling us about EPHQ, what's coming up over there after this.
Bom dia.
Now, this may be a funny thing to say, but you could really hear the silence in there, couldn't you? What a beautiful environment. And I suppose that after years, possibly centuries in there, of people being respectful and quiet, you just get a sense of that on entry. Thank you, Anna. Very thoughtful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let me just find out from you where that was from. But this is the amazing, beautiful church, Igreja da Misericórdia in Tavira. Okay, so not VRSA, Tavira, that my choir sings and has concerts in. What a gem. What a gem indeed. Thank you so much. Video to come from Dougie. It's actually a montage of Paul Richards' images. Paul Richards, very gifted photographer, who's in the Algarve and has some lovely images to share with us this morning via Dougie, and some Nazaré waves as well. Should we squeeze in a quick Nazaré video and then we'll talk to Jackie after that? Yeah, let's do that. So here we go, over to Nazaré, where João Denort captured some fantastic footage, far better than mine, where we struggle to see the scale of these waves. Hopefully, John's done a better job than me on this.
Okay, I'm going to get a lot closer here. You can hear what I'm getting closer to.
Absolutely, Doug. João de Norte in Praia de Norte, and good to see you this morning, Capricorn. Chris Nazare, well spotted, incredible there. What a bracing start to the day today. Yeah, if you're coming to the meetup and you fancy some of that, bring your wetsuit, bring your board, and bring your wax, and maybe we can pop down there after lunch. Bon dia, I love Nazare. What a delight to tune into. Yeah, I mean, it's magnificent, isn't it? Much better video footage there than I managed to capture last Friday. And as John, I think if you could hear him over the sound of the sea there, it is the season, certainly the season, to see the big waves and beyond them for some crazy people. I have to say that Sagres and Nazare are two of my favorite places. Naturally, I have more, but they are 100% on the top 10 list. Cheers. Yeah, other suggestions for top 10 lists in Portugal. That's helpful to people who want to come over and see what's what. Talking about coming over, let's talk to the first of our coaches today. Nice big round of applause for the migration coach, Jackie Acevedo from Expats Portugal. Do you mind me calling you that, Jackie? Good morning to
That's
you.
perfect.
You are, aren't you? You're a migration coach for people coming over.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to state it.
Excellent.
Good morning.
And good morning, and how are you today? Tudo bem? Como estás?
Very well. That was both of those were amazing footage.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that church, which was spectacular. The azulejos.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
azulejos.
I don't know if it's right, but that is how I say it. Azulejos, yeah.
And one of the things is when we moved into our building in Cascais, when the building was first constructed, all the apartments had beautiful azulejos all around the entranceway.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, as people, they fell out of love with the azulejos and fell more in love with this modern all-white IKEA look.
Yes.
And most of the apartments because they thought it was old-fashioned, they took the azulejos off. And I only have one neighbor who's lived there for almost from when the building was built 30, 35 years ago, who kept the azulejos. And you think, what a cultural loss, even in my own building.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? I had a similar thought. I was thinking along the same sort of lines the other day as I was cleaning the architrave of my front door. And it's nothing to write home about. You know, it's a perfectly functional front door, but it is, you know, one of those UPVC modern doors with a lot of architraval type detail on it to make it look more interesting. And I thought to myself, I can understand why in the 70s people paneled their doors and took all the banister spindles out and just put hardboard up and made flat, clean surfaces because their lives were getting busy and they're thinking, I haven't got time to wash my front step and clean every nook and cranny. I'm going to make everything plain and easy to wipe. That was part of it, wasn't it? And that was a look that came and smashed away all the azulejos. And I dare say your neighbor was frowned upon a little bit at the time. Oh, you're so old-fashioned keeping those dusty old azulejo tiles. Nobody wants those anymore. And now look. Oh, you've muted up for some reason there, Jackie. What happened there? We've lost your sound. Oh, there you go. You're back.
That was weird. I had this friend of a friend who was an interior designer here. And she was a young woman, and she was lamenting. She says, they're throwing away this amazing, beautiful cultural heritage because everybody wants all white or all gray.
Yeah.
And they're getting rid of this azulejos that they're finding in these buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
And I cannot think of anything sadder because it's such a beautiful part of Portuguese culture.
It is, isn't it? We love it. Us foreigners tend to love it. And I was in the Leiria shopping centre the other day. Actually, I took a rather nice photo that I will share with you now of a Leiria. Look at those autumnal colours. Those
beautiful. Like New England.
Yeah. And is that like, what a flag would that be with the red, yellow and green there? And New England in the fall and Leiria Castle on top of there. This is where we're in a playground, and I could see that. And I thought there's like coloured lollipops of trees there in the autumn.
Beautiful.
Why was I mentioning Leiria there? I went there for some reason. I can't remember.
The culture of Portugal.
Yeah, I still can't remember why I was thinking of it. But IKEA, you make a good point about IKEA. It's almost like the communism of interior design. It's very.
Yeah,
we all love
Absolutely.
it in a way. We all love it in a certain kind of way because it can be quite handy. Do you know, some people here in this community have never been in one.
That's okay.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I don't like the psychological, being treated like a lab rat when you go in and you're pushed around the place in a certain way. I tend to walk against the flow. Do you?
I was just there 3 days ago, and I did it against the flow because I didn't want to go the whole way.
Yes,
And
well done.
and there are doors, like they say, just emergency exit, but you could walk through those doors to cut through departments, and I do that too. So,
well, if you're wondering the other day in IKEA who that naughty woman was who was popping between all the adjoining doors, that'll be Jackie, who's here with us this morning. Yeah, absolutely right about the. I mean, it's not just Portugal, is it? I think most cultures have done that. There is a certain move at times, isn't there, to do away with the past and look forward, and we understand that, don't we? I think among our Portuguese friends, that as much as we love the nostalgia and traditions of Portugal, a lot of people do want to shake a lot of that off and just get with the program and get with the future here in this country. But hopefully we can strike a nice balance.
yeah, and also I love the Nazaré. I've actually been to Nazaré, and what my husband did was make sure we had the scale of a human. So that we could really see how it's the way I imagine a tsunami must look, because it's awe-inspiring. It was amazing. Nazaré is like you see God in the waves. It's unbelievable.
God in the waves. What a lovely way of putting it. Yeah, and in the town there is a great sense of tradition. Actually, that's a Portuguese place where you can get a great sense of the past. And if you're lucky enough to go there at the moment, at the museum on the seafront. On the promenade, they've got an exhibition of photographs, historical photographs. Well, all photographs are historical in a sense, aren't they? But some ancient photographs of the ancient folk of I suppose going back to, what would they be? The 70s, 60s, 50s, maybe even earlier. Some wonderful photographs of Nazareans, or the Nazarenes, as I imagine they're called. Really, really great photos, and you do get a great sense of old time Nazaré when you're walking through those narrow streets there. Excellent stuff, Jackie. Good to have you here from EPHQ. What's coming up this week?
I think this is a great one. I always say that, but because as you probably know, I'm a dog lover, so I have 2 dogs. Yeah. And this is about, traveling with your animals and beyond. And we have a vet speaking, and she'll tell you some of the challenges, what to expect, and even this. I think she discusses the sizes of the dogs when you travel. And you probably hear my dog on a bone. Could you hear my dog on a bone right now?
I didn't know if that was your husband or your dog.
No, that's my dog. Okay. I'm going to ask him to shoo the dog away, but that's my dog gnawing on a bone. So she's going to talk a lot about, and also some of the differences, I think, of having an animal in Portugal and some of the health issues that they face here. Like, I didn't know when I came to Portugal that there was a particular bug in the sand that you have to inoculate your dog against. I had never heard of that. That didn't exist in the US. So all the different kinds of issues and just how to travel safely with your animal.
Yep, very good. And that's Rita Afonso, who will be with us tomorrow evening from GIR. Highly experienced and accredited in shipping and relocation services, already helped over 11,000 individuals and their pets starting new chapters of their lives abroad. Always good fun. They are true pros over there.
Amazing. Really make sure your animal arrives safely.
Yeah.
And they'll talk a lot about how they're different in the industry in terms of making sure your animal arrives safely.
Yeah, well said. And a busy week, I'm sure, over at EPHQ. Talk about the NHR continues. I recorded an interview with after last Thursday's excitement, where we had that live feed, didn't we? We had Duarte talking to us.
He was great.
Isn't he brilliant? I love that guy, the Harry Potter of taxation in Portugal.
He did my son's taxes, and my son was like, I don't know if it makes sense for me to move as a remote worker. It's his first job out of college. And once he spoke to Duarte, he understood that he's not going to be taxed at that crazy rate he thought he was.
He ran the numbers, didn't he?
He ran the numbers, and it was nothing.
And,
what he
and
expected.
whilst he was on, the president, of course, was speaking, busy dissolving the parliament and calling an election for March the 10th of next year. And we had confirmation, of course, didn't we, that the NHL will conclude, will have run its course by the end of the year, 31st of January. So the day after, recorded an interview with Gilda about her task force that she set up to get people over the line and qualify for the NHL. That was a really good conversation with Gilda. She's pretty busy at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, but you know what? They could handle it.
Yeah,
they're tough. I mean, they're the group of women that the more you throw at them, and this is what happens, the more they seem to be able to take on.
yeah.
So I have no doubt that no matter what challenges they face, they can more than handle it.
Yeah, well said, well said. So anything else to tell us from EPHQ?
I just wanted to also note that our vet tomorrow, I was very impressed with her, is that she's a 26-year-old young woman. And I was very impressed that she's a vet at 26.
Doesn't it take 7 years to train? I mean, I guess she must have gone.
She must be a very bright girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's one of the things I think. And the other, about Nazaré, just one last thought.
Yeah.
If you go to Nazaré, especially during the holidays, very close by is Obidos, and they do an amazing job at Christmas. And that's one of our pilgrimages as a family during the holidays, to see the lights and to go to Obidos, because it's if you have an opportunity, I've never seen anything more magical at Christmas time than Obidos. It's
real pretty there, isn't it? Well, if you're in the area, give us a shout and we'll have a coffee, because we're not just down the road, of course, from Obidos.
So you've been there at Christmas?
Yes. Because I live quite nearby. I am eschewing the vast tourist traffic. You know how it is?
Yes, yeah. I live in Kishkai, so yeah, I do know.
Yeah, exactly. You'll have a comparison with that, and you probably wait for certain times of year where it's safer and less congested to go out. And I find that sometimes with Obidos. We do go up there. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and I have a recommendation of a restaurant nearby and accommodation, actually, the Infusions Cafe.
Infusion Cafe.
Yeah, it's just down the road. It's a little sort of 2-minute drive out away from the castle, but it's a nice place to go and have a breather and retreat from the busyness of Obidos. I mean, maybe that's why you want to go, especially at Christmas time, to be with people and to be in the throng of it all. But if you want a little bit of peace and some great food and get away from very busy eating environment, pop along to Infusions, where Bruno, I think. Yeah, Bruno. That's right, because I said I would definitely talk about Bruno, and that's how I remembered his name. He and his brother have set up a fantastic B&B and restaurant there. Great food.
What kind of food?
Well, they do Portuguese classics, and they do some unusual things as well. I had beef in beer there. And
that sounds good.
They do a 12-hour beef stew in Grimbergen beer that they also sell there. So they sell quite a strong German ale in there. I think Grimbergen is German. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Beer and beef, the two things I love.
Great combo, and amazing desserts, Jackie. You'll love the desserts in there as well. So Infusions, and tell him that Good Morning Portugal sent you. I
will do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you for being here this morning. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll see you on the call.
Yeah, you'll see us
and
tomorrow.
Then the Dream Team session, of course, at 9 o'clock. So see you then. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you. Bye.
Jackie, have a lovely day in Cascais. Bye for now. There she goes. And she'll be off to... I'm a bit big on this screen this morning, aren't I? Let's bring Raquel on so that I can scale down a bit rather than look like some sort of giant looming out of your screen this morning. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Oh my word! Oh, we're getting a bit of an
Good morning.
Good morning. I have. Are you able to put some headphones on?
You have an echo. Yeah.
Echo. We've still got it. We might need you to put some headphones.
I can't put the headphones in this. Let me try to connect through the laptop then.
Okay, or just
turn it down a whole lot.
Another way of doing it. I'm going to play a little video, and we'll come back to Raquel in a minute after we've we've turned things down or put ourselves into headphones over there. Should we have a look at Pete's electric tickler? Or shall we go to, I know, yeah, let's have a quick look at a Pete's electric tickler, which brings the plump fruit from the trees into a net. And we can look at some of the stills that he sent me as well of his olive harvest. A very traditional thing to be doing at this time of year, of course, here in Portugal.
This is quite a bit of olivery.
Nice one, Pete. We'll show more stills of the harvesting and pressing actually in the finished product. Let's while Raquel's getting ready, let's have a look at a 2-minute taste. That's a slightly different one. This is Paul Richards' photography from the Algarve, and Dougie's put this together. I think they met up while Doug was over here. Value of your investments may go up as well as down, and your aspect ratio has been changed from 69 to fit into the video. Sounds like I wanted to read that small print out. Thank you for that thoughtfulness there, Doug. And you're absolutely right. I second that completely. Of course, the breadth and depth of the individual talent here in this community, as you can see there from Paul Richards' fantastic photographs. You better make sure that goes up on the YouTube channel. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Paul. Love the video, says Jim, who's in. And bon dia todos. And well done, Pete, with the harvest. We'll come back to Pete's plump fruit in a little while. Let's try this again.
Hello.
Hola, bon dia. ¿Cómo estás? Yes, no echo. Well done, Raquel. How are you this morning?
Good. Well, better now, right?
Great to see you. And I think you've had a birthday since we last saw you, right? So
yeah, 29.
29. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
It's been a few years now with 29, but no, let's not talk about that.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to for a moment. I was going right there. Let's not talk about that. But that's your strategy, is it? You've remained 29. It must only be for a couple of years of repetition, though, of 29, I'm thinking.
No comment on that. No,
Excellent to see you. I'm sure you had a great time.
yeah.
How did you celebrate, if I may pry for a moment?
With family and friends. I mean, the best way possible. I had like a perfect day because I went for a massage, and then I had
Very good.
sushi for lunch, and
Ooh.
with family. For me, it was, the highest currency in my book is time.
Yeah.
And that's why I strive for is to have time to live, to be with my daughters, with my family, husband, all of that. And that's the most important thing. And I know, you're for sure getting old when you start to think like that. And I'm for sure getting old because seriously, it is so important to me to have time with them.
Yeah.
And to enjoy them and to see them grow and to see the little things. And in order to see the little things, you have to be there. Because there's a lot that you miss when you're not like every day and you don't go put them to school and pick them up from school and then, have that after school time with them and bath time and all that. So it was perfect in my book because I was able to do my own thing. I was able to be with my oldest, have a massage,
Very
and then
good.
with the other two and with my husband and all the family. So it was pretty perfect.
Well done. Sounds like a wonderful blueprint template for a great birthday. So excellent.
Yeah,
Parabéns.
so.
Filomena's here. Hola, bom dia, alegria. Boa quarta-feira a todos. Thank you, Filomena. Good to see you. Filomena, of course, will be joining us in Coimbra for our next Discovery Weekend, which is less than a month away. I better get my finger out. 9th and 10th of December, we'll be there. Because Jackie was talking about the pretty lights of Obidos, of course. And I'm sure Cascais do a great job at Christmas, as do Coimbra. I was there one year when they turned the lights on. And the gasp of the crowd as the lights went on in the Coimbra Baija there was superb. So we're looking forward to Christmas. I'm sure
and
you're
in Lisbon as well.
And in Lisbon, we're getting ready, aren't we? The lights are going up around the country, ready to celebrate Christmas this year. And then, of course, we'll be going into the celebration, the 50-year anniversary of the Carnation Revolution, and all the usual parties, festas, feiras of Portugal. It's going to be an amazing year next year. And the politics have almost, how can I put this, Raquel? The politics have ramped up as well, haven't they, in anticipation of the Carnation Revolution celebrations. What's been going on, Raquel? What do you make of it in this last week in Portuguese politics?
Well, let me just tell you that, it was not a relaxed day, but busy as usual day. But I actually had time to go to my kickboxing lesson. So it's at 1:00. And so I went to my boxing and, fine. I get out. I'm like sweaty as hell. And I start to see like 50 WhatsApp messages in the Facebook in my family WhatsApp groups. And I'm, what's happening? Antonio Costa resigned. I'm like, oh, come on, you're kidding. So, and no, it was true. It was like, when Donald Trump won the elections, it was like for 10 minutes, we couldn't really believe it. It was exactly the same thing. So for 10 minutes, I was like, no, this is not true. No, I mean, I can't go boxing for once. And then I go out and all the country's changed. Come on.
Stop going boxing. Yeah, stop it.
Exactly. So, yeah, I have to say that even for me, and I usually have and I usually can predict things like politically wise quite well, and it was a huge surprise for me.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was because, well, I think it was a surprise for Tony Costa as well, to be honest. But
yes,
but it's a shame. I mean, regardless of whether your political views align or not, it's always damaging to the country to not have stability in the government, and especially in a timing like this where we have the PRR, so the huge amount of money that's coming in from the European Union that has to be spent, has to be accounted for. When you have measures that are put in place, like the lowering of taxes, like the increasing of the minimum wage, all of that stuff. I mean, it would be, thank God, amidst all the confusion, the government still had like the responsibility to approve the national budget. And I know that there were a lot of people wishing that the national budget wouldn't be approved because of NHR or whatever. And that just makes me mad because people have to understand the magnitude of the impact of such a thing.
Yeah.
If we hadn't approved the budget, we would be living on 1/12 of the last year's budget up until, I don't know, May or April, because that would be around the time that they would be able to approve another budget. And so if you see the commotion in the emergency rooms at hospitals and the education, that would only continue and escalate even worse, because then people know that for 4 or 5 months, nothing's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind sacrificing, a few foreigners that may not be coming into Portugal, that would probably even be coming here for the wrong reasons, for tax reasons, in order to have the safeguard of all the people in Portugal with a lot of different aspects. So I think amidst all the confusion, it was still the most responsible thing to do. Thank God it went through.
Thank you for that, and that's now I understand that better. That's why the president was keen to dissolve, call a new election, and have the budget ratified, because it would have just meant further pain and chaos for the Portuguese people.
It would be a mess. We've had that before, but we haven't had so. It would be like 5 months in the year, so half a year with last year's budget. Okay, so that would be complete chaos, and that CEF is changing for IMA, all of that. So there's a lot of things changing, and if that hadn't gotten approved, so many things would be just coming to an halt. And I always have the feeling that people have a short memory. We say that in Portugal, tem memória curta. Because if you go back 4 or 5 years and you just look at the numbers, the difference is huge. It's huge in terms of minimum income, unemployment, quality of life, pensions, all of that. And I just think people really forget that very quickly. Okay. And that is a testament of the stability in the government, which is something that Portugal has that is quite unique, not only worldwide, but even European-wise. Portugal has a quite unique, stable government for the past 20, 30 years. And that's very important to keep.
Well said. Thank you for all of that bit of insight, because I know we have viewers, subscribers in the United States who didn't get 50 WhatsApp messages that day. I mean, they barely know what's going on. I'm doing my best, obviously, to keep people informed of what's happening, and put together you saw, didn't you, that timeline of events? I mean, it's been such a week. So we're doing what we can to bring people the news as it unfolds and what the implications might be for people considering moving to Portugal if you're not already here, and you just get this sense of political upheaval. You're absolutely right from afar, Raquel, and this is how the business markets respond, isn't it? They don't like instability. That will change things. So thank you for your insight and perhaps bringing some useful oversight on that to bring back a little bit of stability despite a very unstable situation. Anything else you might say to people who are watching from afar who are a little bit concerned? We've definitely lost the NHR. What else might this budget and change of government mean for people considering Portugal for the future? Stability is coming back, you suggest?
Amidst the fact that you still have a war and you have the Middle East as it is, considering those external factors that are very much contributing to the increase in prices and the economical uproar here in Portugal, I think we do have great conditions. And laugh all you want, but I would bet you that the Socialist Party will win again, because there's just no alternative. There's just no alternative. So I think the opposition just let go of the ball. They were too distracted, and they were lazy, in my opinion, because there's no strong alternative. Because if there were, everybody would be jumping on that wagon, and they're not. And the testament that they're not is that the fact there's no a rigorous alternative or something that people can grab onto. Now, what I would like to say is that there is something being designed similar to the NHR, much more limited in scope, a bit like the golden visa. The golden visa hasn't ended. The residential golden visa has ended, but there are still other golden visas available. So a bit like that. It's still in discussion, because now it's the overall document has been approved, but now you have to discuss the specialities, the specificities of the budget. And that's where a lot of these issues lie, like the car tax and all of that. So there's still a little wiggle room, but the big decisions are already made. And what I want to say to these people is that regardless of NHR, and if the Portuguese have to have the ability to carry that tax load, I'm sure anyone that's coming from outside in can also carry that load, because if we do, you can, and you probably have a lot more money than any of us usually has. So the country has so much more to offer. And now I've been having, curiously enough, a lot of people from South Africa. And it's a similar country in terms of culture and weather and all of that. But the disparity of what a stable government does is mind-blowing. Yeah. We have a stable electricity system. We have safety. What my clients usually say when they start to come here is like, it's weird that I can walk the streets at night and like nothing is going to happen to me. It takes a little time to get used to the fact that you're safe, that you're in a safe environment. Mm-hmm. And so for kids, for people in the US, the recent laws, oh my God, I think there's so much that this country can offer that if you're coming over here just because of tax reasons, then it's not the good reason at all. So bye-bye then. If you only come here because of that, good riddance.
I think we've said that, you know, we and thank you for your analysis of this one. It's very, very thorough and very interesting. And yeah, looking at it from a sort of external, very, what would you say, economic, financial point of view only, is very limiting, isn't it? And you miss out. I mean, this is how I've described it. And I think you've done it beautifully as well this morning. It's 80-20, isn't it? Of course, it's important how much money you've got to live on. No one doubts that. And each of us has to make sense of that in our own way. And whilst you focus on that a little bit too much, perhaps, you are losing sight of the fact, and the comparison with South Africa, I think, and many other countries in the world is a good one. You're losing sight of the 80% of what is fabulous about Portugal, which is the lifestyle. And of course, Portugal is not unusual or alone in having political challenges and trying to figure out how to run a society in the modern world. This is a global issue, isn't it? With all sorts of influences and nuances and challenges for every country in the world. And then when all's said and done, and a lot is said and not much is done, obviously, sometimes, it is on balance. If you were to use a business lens on this, on a balance sheet level, we're still in good shape, I think, here in Portugal.
For sure. And if anyone doesn't see this, then they're not very clever and they're not very very good at analysis. So bye, you know.
Would you say they failed the intelligence test required?
Yeah, for sure. It's like they should have a proficiency test, you know, to come here. You know, if you fail, bye.
A hard line this morning from Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting. And I've described you as a business coach, and that's what we'll talk about now, if that's okay with you. You've shared with us so much of your insight about how to start up a business and the business world environment here in Portugal. And I nearly failed my intelligence test with you, I think, and in my whatever it is that stops people like me, those who aren't. Those of us who are sort of numerically challenged, these sorts of processes seem a little bit daunting. And you've been really kind and forgiving and compassionate about this condition.
Not at all, Carl. And let me tell you, those are my best clients.
Okay, yes, of course. And you know, we've gone from this wonderful guide to starting a business that you've created, and we've gone, like as the great Phil Cooklin says, you know, break anything big down into baby steps. Set a big goal, but have baby steps along the way. And you've very kindly done that now with business. And me and Mrs. M are poised in this position now are going from the green receipts system, which is how a lot of people trade and operate as self-employed people here in Portugal, to wanting to start with, with your encouragement and inspiration from you, and getting a greater understanding of what's required and what the benefits are. We were looking to start a company. So baby steps, step by step, to doing that. So it doesn't just apply to us. I think we're hopefully a useful illustration of the point, and we'll showcase what we do along the way. And we can speak more generally, of course. So what do you see as the first baby step then for somebody who wants to make that transition? They might be on green receipts, or they might just want to go straight to that first baby step of starting a company here in Portugal. What to do, Raquel?
Well, I like to start with the easiest point, so not to scare people off. So I would advise, start thinking about the name. The name is a good place to start, because there are limitations. You can't register whatever you want to, but it kind of eases you into and excites you into having something that you're building and that you're creating. You're giving it a name. I also compared it to a lot of times with having a baby. And this is an important comparison, because it is, in fact, creating an autonomous organization outside of you, which is the main difference from whoever's working as a freelancer. There is an organization, there is a structure, there is a body that is created that then has its own life, it has its own NIF, it has its own social security number. And this is an important distinction. And so that's why I think it's very important to start with the name, because that ingrains in your head that you are creating something outside of yourselves. And something that will have a life of its own, and that will be independent of the shareholders, in the way that it can be independent. So it is something that, and it also excites you a little bit, because it reminds you of the dream, right? To think of the name, it reminds you of the dream. And so that's what I like to tap into, honestly, when we start. But Carl, I keep saying this. Don't think that that's the fact that you don't know a lot of things about being building a business, or being in a business, has anything to do with lack of anything. It doesn't. I mean, it's just something, you don't know what you don't know, and unless you have to, or you're forced into something, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't have to, right? So it's like I keep saying that everybody should be a specialist in something, but we cannot all know everything about everything, okay? So that's why we have specific professionals to help us with given things.
Well said.
And more and more, I think we're at a time these days that we have to do that. We have to have the specific professionals to help us out, whatever it is. If it's a leak in your house, if it's building a business, if it's, having a gardener, whatever it is, because we all think that we can do everything because we have YouTube videos, or we have, tutorials all the time. It's bullshit. We can't. And we should focus our time in doing what we do best, Carl. And it's like you should focus your time in doing this content and shows and all of this, bringing this community together. That's where your focus and your time should be. So leave all these other bureaucratic things to another, because your time is better spent doing this. And so don't think that you should know everything, or that you should be, you shouldn't be taking those baby steps. Yes, you should. And maybe if in a few years you create another company or another, then you will know, because then you will have passed through that experience and you'll be more knowledgeable. But do not take yourselves think of yourselves of any less because you're not up to par on every single information. Not even I'm up to par on every single information. And that just comes with the territory of each. Cada macaco no seu galho. It's like I always like to say, to each his own. Okay, so please no question is below level. You can ask anything. No question is too dumb. No question is too simple. Ask away. And if I can explain it simply, then I don't know what I'm doing, because that's a great test. If someone doesn't know how to explain something in a simple way, then they don't know what they're doing. Okay.
Yes,
So
very good point. Because some professionals do hide in the long grass, don't they? And
of course.
that should perhaps shake people's concern, well, should arouse concern, and or their intuitions. If they can feel in their water that this person is hiding in the long grass and not explaining things simply, that's what you've hired them for, isn't it? To explain things simply to you, so you know what to do, so you can do what you said, Raquel, which is to get on with the bit you do best in your business. So thank you for that explanation. But hold on a minute. Did you just say a monkey is a monkey and a chicken is a chicken? Is that the basis of that Portuguese saying there?
No, it's more like each person should be in each position, so or the position that they're better at. So, like, you can't ask a goldfish to climb a tree, right?
Yes.
But you can ask a goldfish to swim away in the sea, and the monkey would have a hard time swimming away in the sea. So, everybody has their own position, and everybody should flourish in that own position. That's a bit
What
of
a wonderful world that would be. But you did mention monkeys and cockerels, did you not?
Monkeys and galhos is a tree branch.
Oh, the monkey in its right place on the tree. Sorry, I thought you
Exactly.
said...
Okay. That's
got
it.
Got it now. Thank you very much. And of course, all great business people, when they are interviewed, usually mention their team, don't they? They say, they take the credit, because that's what we tend to do, is make heroes of people, as if they did it all themselves. But every successful athlete, I think most successful business people rely on great teams, don't they? And I think that's what you're talking about, is creating a virtual team when you start a company, and you're suggesting going with the name. This flashed up on the screen. It was quite a good coincidence, actually. Fernando Pessoa from the Book of Disquiet. I've never done anything but dream. This and this alone has been the meaning of my life. My only real concern has been my inner life. And that, I suppose, is what you're talking about. The name can be the expression of your dreams. And it can be a symbol, can't it? If you can get what you're doing in essence in the name of your company, and then get it registered, you're reminded every time through the tough times of running a business that this is what I'm called the Electric Coconut Company for a reason. Okay.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, that was one of the first things that I did with Lighthouse Consulting, was register the name. Because it just popped up in my head. I was like, yes, this is it. I'm grabbing onto this. And that's a powerful thing.
Superb. Okay, so I'm hoping you're going to put your email address on the screen, or the best contact details, so anyone who wants to make the transition as we are into starting a Portuguese company can do so. We have thanks from Jim, who's joining us. Thank you, Raquel. I think that's for your analysis of the political situation. Alan joined us from Massachusetts as well. Good morning to you, Alan. James simply puts healthcare. I think that's just another good reason, isn't it, to be here in Portugal, the 80% that we were talking about. NHR.
I always like to toy with.
Look, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to have to move you, okay? All right, there you go. NHR, no NHR, doesn't matter. $1,200 a month just for real estate taxes, $200 plus for cable, $200 plus for cell phones, car insurance through the roof. Don't get me going on health insurance. All right, Alan, we won't. Look at this. This is a T-shirt we need to get made, isn't it? Portugal all day. And amen to that, says João de Norte. And those two having a nice little chat. Bon dia, João. And the gun violence, of course, alone here in the USA is enough to bring me back home to Portugal for retirement. Yes, the name Martins, of course, is a suggestion there that Alan has some Portuguese heritage. And, of course, Portuguese people returning to Portugal, if they do it before the end of the year, will also qualify for the NHR, won't they? But it's not going to stop Alan, by the sound of it, whether he does it before the end of the year or not. Thank you, Raquel. I'd like you to stick around, if you don't mind, for a little bit. Sure. I know your time is very precious to you, as you said. We have Marion joining us, I hope, in just a moment. So I'm going to send her a message. Are you okay? Because she hasn't joined us yet. And you know, when a German person is late, something is probably wrong, right? Well, it's out of order saying that. I don't think so. I think German folks tend to be quite punctual. And I'm going to play you. I think you'll like this, and you might also like her idea of well, it's not her idea, but she's part of a women's network here on the Silver Coast that I discovered. I was at a fabulous wine tasting last Wednesday, a week ago, at the Storytellers Palace here, Raquel, and I was in the company of 3 women sat around me who are part of us like a business networking and support group here on the Silver Coast, which sounded like a great idea, and we'll find out more from her. She's joining the screen in just a moment, so I will introduce you to her. Actually, I'll do that now. She's here, so let's give her a nice big round of applause. And bring her onto the screen. Good morning, Marion. Bon dia, guten Tag.
Bom dia, guten Tag. Tudo
How are
bem?
you?
Wie geht's?
Danke. Who is this, Raquel? Hi, how are you?
Very well.
This is Raquel, who I was just telling her about your women's business network. Raquel, I think I've invited her to stick around for a little bit longer, Marion, because I think she'll find this very inspiring and may also do something quite similar in Qashqai already. But Marion, can we start by welcoming you? Thank you very much for being here. Tell us something about this network, because that's how we met, wasn't it? You started telling me about this, and then we'll talk about your business, obviously. But this women's network on the Silver Coast, what's that about?
So the Silver Coast Network group is for female entrepreneurs only. Sorry for the men. So we have a lovely lady from Tel Aviv, Einaf. She has invented it, and she has put it into a WhatsApp group so far. And I think, Anna Belga. I think everybody knows Anna from your place, Carlos. She was number 2 or 3. I was number 10, and in the meantime, we are about 32 ladies. Can you imagine?
I can only imagine.
And we are all working. You know, it is not Qashqai, it's not Lisboa, it is Silver Coast. So this means Foz do Areio, it means Óbidos, it means Vau, it means Porto, San Martino do Porto. So it is a completely different area, and it is really amazing how many people we have now there in so different areas. And the purpose so far is that we just empower ourselves, that we say, keep on going, dream your dream, and get it on the road. And if you need support, I can do this. I know someone here. So it's a real fantastic place to exchange ideas, to ask, do you think that's a good price? No, I don't think so. I have another idea. You know, so we do also have meetings and one-to-one if you need. And also we meet on a monthly basis.
How wonderful. Doesn't that sound great, Raquel?
Oh, my mind is bubbling already.
And what we already do, it is standardized now that each Friday we have the chance to exchange our wins of the week.
Oh, go on, tell us more.
So this is very good for your brain, you know, that you say on a Friday you have, okay, so what have I done actually? Have I spent my time thoughtfully, or did I spend my time, okay, many ideas, but nothing really implemented, right? So we share our wins, small wins, you know, it does not have to be a big, wow, I published my page or something, or I got a big client on. It is like, you know, I had my mother here and we had a fantastic time. Also family, you know, we all have a family behind us, most of them, if not husbands, but children, they are here, they are not here, they are visiting. So we have lots of emotional stuff going on as well next to our work, right? So we exchange this, and it is so nice, you know, just a nice photo where someone is smiling, and it's like, it's so heart-filling. It's lovely.
And this happens on the WhatsApp group, does it? They'll send a message in on a Friday. I'm celebrating the fact that
you know, Einaf is the inventor, the founder of the group, and she says, ladies, it's Friday. Let's go. I share. I'm the first one, you know, and then we have the others. It's lovely.
In some ways, I know it's a gender stereotype, but I'm not sure if men would do that, actually. I wonder. Probably not. But this sounds wonderful, and there's a level of accountability and gratitude in what you're talking about there, isn't there? Which we know are very important things when you're, well, in life generally, but running a business for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's the support, you know. It is the supporting and the positive vibes in the group. Yeah. You know, we stick on the netiquette. And we are all very aware of that. We are age group, I would say, between 35 and 60. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I'm a mother myself, and I know the young mothers what mental load means, especially when you just arrived here and you have a life back, a life now here to start. So there are quite a few, let's call it saboteurs, who needs to be addressed.
Yes, absolutely. And the help of more experienced mums in that group can be a real bonus, I'm sure, for people who, because you're contending with being in a new country, as you pointed out there as well. What a lovely idea. Is there room for one of these in Cascais, do you think, Raquel?
For sure. I mean, that's a great, I am in a number of WhatsApp groups like Happy in Lisbon and Happy in Cascais, and there's an entrepreneur group. It gets to a point where they're too much. So if it's something very focused and very to the point, especially for partnering and support, that is a great idea.
Yep. Solo 50 Plus Portugal. Louise, very keen on this as well. The wins idea sounds great because often you don't recognize achievements. You just get straight onto the next thing on the list. Well said. Yeah, absolutely true. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Marion. It's good to have you here. How did you get to be here in Portugal? Let's ask you about that and your backstory for being here before we start talking about your amazing business here of life coaching in the outdoors. So how did you get to be, well, where are you? Where are you for starters, and how did you get to be here?
So I grew up in Germany, as everybody can hear in my German accent, and I had always the feel of being on the wrong place in southern part of Germany, where it is very nice, but I've always had the feeling I'm not at the right place. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it started then traveling a lot when I was young, and then I picked the studies like economics and Mandarin.
What?
Yes, and then exactly that was my father's reaction. Mandarin, is that now far enough for you to go? You know, because I said maybe to go to France. You know, I tried out France, everything. I tried out Switzerland. So that was all not the right place. So, and my inner self said it has to be very different. So I had this urge, this feeling, and this pull factor, and then I went to China when I was 25.
Did you really?
I really did. Yes, I really did. And I did, that was in the 90s when Siemens, all the big DAX companies in Germany, they just opened their offices. So it was globalization pure. You can imagine. What? And I was calling, actually, I need an internship because I need some money. Can I work for you? They said, okay, good, great. You can count. You are an economist and you speak Mandarin. Okay, when can you start?
Perfect.
That was the time. It was fantastic timing. So I was there with Siemens, Infineon, different German companies. I founded a company there in Shanghai for headhunting. So I helped Chinese engineers to find jobs at German companies. Very special, again, very niche. And I met my husband, who I'm still married with, and I delivered 2 babies. So that's and then I came back to Germany because of the children. We wanted them to give some German flavor, how life is in Europe, especially in Germany, because they were German passport holders. Yeah. And we stayed there for 12 years. And then after the little one did his A-levels, he left Germany. My older one is in the UK. And then my husband and I said, okay, now we got to go again. And then we said, is it France or Italy? And then we said, no, it's Portugal. And that's how we... How did it come on your radar? Say it again, please. How did you discover Portugal? I mean, because I understand, you might, like me, from the UK, might think, is it France? Is it Spain? Those were my first two choices. Exactly. So I wanted to go to France. What about Portugal? I told my husband, okay, listen, sweetie, I speak French and I love France. Yeah. So he said he loves the French wine, but he hates the country. Not hate, but he felt more Italian. Honest. So he felt more Italian, the way of life. French was for him always a bit tricky to communicate with and to deal with. They all have problem. So he said he wants to have Italian. So, but that's okay. It doesn't work out. And then we said, okay, where are other places we have been when we were young, which we liked. And then we both were in our 80s. In the 80s, 90s. Late 80s, we both have been traveling on our own paths to Portugal. And we remembered it. It was an easy, nice place and lots of sun. Yeah. And then mentioning this, we said, okay, so we booked a flight next day, took one son with us and said, okay, so how does this feel now? And then it felt fabulous, And we went straight to the Silver Coast because we said, sorry, Rachel, I think you are in Cascais, aren't you, or Lisbon?
Yeah, Cascais.
Yeah, so we went also to Cascais, but it felt like Shanghai expat area, you know?
Shanghai.
Sorry, I know I'm on air and everybody can hear me. I hope it is, you know, it was just
We
for
heard
me
that.
individually.
We heard that. It's going to be on the internet forever, what you just said.
Maybe you can cut out this piece.
No, too late.
We just wanted to go local, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
With the language, and some parts went well, but some other parts did not went well. The language is, as many for foreigners, it feels not only hard, it is hard to learn. And, you know, when I feel very desperate, I have to share this one. If I'm so desperate with my Portuguese language, I go to the Chinese outlet. I know you all hate it. And then I speak Mandarin fluently, and I tell them exactly what's going on. And, you know, I tell him 5 minutes my story, and then I'm fine, and then I go out again.
That's amazing. That really is. I didn't, when we were sat next to each other and that exquisite evening last week, trying some of Portugal's best
Which
food.
was lovely.
I had no idea you were a Mandarin speaker, because I'd have had a conversation with you if I could speak Mandarin, that is.
Yes.
And I think that would be, you know, you do these amazing workshops that we'll talk about now with your incredible company. But you could actually do a workshop taking people to Chinese shops, I think, giving them an introduction to Chinese shops, and you could,
and then just leaving them there, like, bye.
That's right.
Okay. The first thing you have to answer if they say something, it is too expensive. Make it cheaper. So this is the first rule, yeah.
Right.
And then they will see, oh, ni hao, everybody. Stephen also speaks some Mandarin. I see.
Oh no, yes. That's quite an amazing. I'm quite delighted to hear that, and I'm sure. I'm hoping this will be the beginning of a residency, Marianne. You have some lovely things to share with us, and we haven't even started talking about.
This is my home, you know. I'm really arrived. I say every morning to my husband, if he's around, I'm home. This is home for me, you know. With all the other things back home in Germany, it feels right. Yes. No, it's not here. It's not here. It is here.
Well said. And James is feeling that. Yes, the feel of the place. Oh, by the way, good to see you this morning, Stephen. Right, Raquel, are you all right to hang around a little bit longer? Because I think you'll really love what Marianne does here. So we had a little bit of a walk already, barefoot this morning, and no, we didn't. We did some qigong. We're going to go walking barefoot now to give you a flavour of what Marianne does. I hope this is the right video. If it's not, I'll just play them both again anyway. That was our little qigong workout. Now we're going for a little bit of Marianne, where is this? What is this? Raquel's glad she stayed. What's going on here with Walk Spirit? Tell us all about it.
This is a very secret place. It is in Serra da Estrela, which is northeast. Maybe, Raquel, you recognize maybe from the landscape and the trees?
Yeah, for sure. We went there this summer.
You went there. So which city have you been? Which village?
We were in Tabua.
Is that one of the... okay, yeah. It's a bit different to the one.
And then from there, we went to several river beaches and all of that.
Oh, it's lovely. So you have been there in August or July?
Yes, August, and then in the winter time as well. But in the summertime, it's magical.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm a little bit more east of where you have been. It's called Belmont.
Oh, yeah.
And Belmont is, I also fell in love with Belmont, and I fell especially in love with this small, very small boutique hotel with the Portuguese family. Marta, she's from Caldas. She's a Rainha from Caldas, and she's really a Rainha.
Very good.
Yeah, and her husband Andre, he is from Belmont. He's a local, and they have bought this house a couple of years ago, and they had their soft opening, and I found it in the internet, and I fell in love with it, and I said, okay, I want to do my health hikes there. You know, this is my car. You see that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Is this the place we're talking about now? This is
exactly. This is the hotel. This is
Yeah.
the small hotel. I can accommodate maximum 8 people. So it will be actually the whole hotel will be for us.
Yeah.
If I'm fully booked, and then they have just 50 meters from the entrance, they have this sensory path.
It's amazing.
And Martha,
I don't know why, Marion. I don't know why. This looks like the opening of a James Bond movie as well, doesn't it? It looks like Daniel Craig is going to arrive and join you any minute now. And
yeah, but it's only
be
Marion. Sorry, it's not. It's not.
No, not at all. It looks really exciting to be up there. What goes on? I mean, John is loving the idea that you've got a sensory footpath to have a walk on. What fun. And I'm sure it is fun, but it's not just about the fun. This is about personal development.
It's not only fun. It looks funny.
Yeah.
So who mentioned this? James? Or who was there? Okay. So it is, this
Joel,
one
yeah,
is real easy.
Yeah, that's what Joel Denort was saying.
So the footpath, it is material Martha has collected during the renovation.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea, isn't it? Good reuse of materials.
So some of the material is stone.
Right.
And it's a bit sharp, so you have to overcome. It is not only, I'm dancing on the sensory path. No, it is really walking and feeling. And also sometimes it hurts, and you have to adjust and balance. And this is exactly what the sensory footpath is about. It's about get over your comfort zone, get out of it and just try.
Yes, yeah? That makes a lot of sense. So that's the work you're doing then, is it? It is getting people to think a little bit out of the box, a little bit differently, and to challenge some of their standing ideas. You're a life coach, right?
Yes, well, essentially I'm a life coach, so you can book these tours without being coached. Yeah, because the coaching in the nature will be done by the nature.
Yeah,
but not by me. So
yes, all right, understood. Understood.
Yeah, and currently I kicked off this one in Belmont in Serra da Estrela, and the next one in summer will be by our lovely coast, Silver Coast, Cortiço, Rei Cortiço. At Foz do Arelho, at the lagoon and the Atlantic. There will be the seaside retreat.
Oh my goodness, this looks fantastic. And there you are. So how did you get into this, Marion? I know, Raquel, we know has a corporate career background and made the transition from that world into running her own business and helping other people run businesses. Sorry to speak on your behalf, Raquel, but I'm just nutshelling it there because I suspect something similar happened with you, Marion, as well. Clearly you've had a very exciting corporate career. You've been in Shanghai. You've worked with the Chinese over there, Chinese engineers, as you said, in a niche. And now you've gone out your own way here. What made you make that switch?
I wanted something new because I felt I needed change. And the change came also, it's a different phase of life, Once your kids are somehow settled with the 18, 19 years old with the A-levels or whatever, and they go their own path, you let them go. You have to let them go, right? And try out. So, and then you have, and I wanted to avoid the empty nest syndrome.
Yep. Okay, so that was a problem then. When the children were leaving home, going to start their own lives, you thought, okay, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, and then I was, I was thinking inside me and said, okay, what do I like? What do I like doing? And then I said, I like walking. I like being outside. I wear outdoor stuff, so I'm always ready for a walk, so I want to be outside and I want to walk. And then I said, but I'm a businesswoman. I want to make money as well. I want to generate some sales. It's not I said, okay, what do I like to do, and what can I do in Portugal? And then I have this lovely landscape, and then I have my then I enrolled for a training at health hiking lead in Germany. It's only in France provide this. So I did a certificate there. So this means I'm a certified European hike lead. So if you go with me in the fields, you are safe for all of you. So I know what and where we go. And then but it was still not enough, because I have so many ideas. Then I said, what about my Qigong, which I practiced for nearly 12 years in Asia? I have the Qigong master, and I did it not regularly, but I also feel it's good for me, And then I said, everybody does yoga already, and people can do yoga in Belmont if they want. They can skip the Qigong, but at least, to learn, give space and room for something new to study,
Yes.
And this is nice. And then I said, okay, I do Qigong every morning, 20 minutes.
Wonderful.
I just did it. I have a video coming up next Sunday, if weather allows. Then I will post it on YouTube on my channel as well. But it's not, Qigong, you can do it. It's an offer. It's included in the package, but it is health hiking, and we find and connect ourselves while we are connecting to the nature. And that's important.
Sounds wonderful. And I was going to ask, what is the benefit of being in the outdoors? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, most of us love being outside and find that inspiring in itself. So if you're doing a little bit of work on yourself in the outdoors, that's an accelerator, a catalyst, isn't it, for change and personal growth? What do you see when, if you're doing your elevator pitch and you're explaining to people what you do, what are the key benefits of working with you, specifically in this kind of environment and with you as an individual, would you say?
I think it doesn't matter where the people come from and how old they are. They definitely enjoy the silence and the quiet life with being by themselves.
Yeah, a retreat. It's basically a retreat, isn't it?
It's a retreat. It's a health retreat. I call it health escape, and then give room to re-question. Say, what is important? Is this important? And then people try to ask. And I have seen, I did the tours in Belmont already 3 times. And I always see with Martha how they check in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still from the workshop, and I had a bad feedback. So, they all come from their corporate careers, the stuff from Germany, from Barcelona, wherever they have been coming from. And then they check in, and they need, at least 1.5 days to calm down.
To decompress, right? It's like a deep sea diver, isn't it? Coming back up from the bottom of the sea. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, actually, I should do a before and after photograph. Because, and then when they check out, they hug me, and some of them cried because they were so touched by the tour and by the whole setup. It's not only me, it's the whole environment. It's the whole package, and the rooms, and we eat what's on the table. There's no big decision, no big menu. Oh God, what am I going to eat? It's all there. We have white wine, red wine from a local winery. We have cheese, so it's all there.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Any questions from you, Raquel? I can see you sitting there soaking this up and loving what you're hearing this morning.
Exactly. I mean, so just the barefoot alone, it got me already. So it's just crazy to think how much we need to be grounded into this, how disconnected we are from our primal nature, that this is like water. We need this. We really do need this.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Love it. And I'm particularly interested to know, me and Mrs. M yesterday, Marianne, were talking about, are we in an epoch-defining moment in human history? There seems to be a lot going on in the world. Obviously, without giving any confidentiality, are there key themes as a life coach that you're picking up on? Where is the human condition at the moment? What is it people are looking for?
Okay, if I put it into age groups, I have people between 20 and 30 without children yet. So they are singles or they're in a partnership. They are asking, because they're in my life coaching program, they ask for digital detox.
Okay. Digital detox.
And they suffer, so they have a concentration issue. It's like an ADHS thing for for old, between 20 and 30 years old, without having it at the kids' age. They just developed it. Corona, yes, no, we don't know the cause, but they suffer. So this means I have one young guy. He's now in Sheffield. Actually, he's German, and he should prepare for his PhD. And what is he doing? He's on his mobile phone.
Yeah.
So he needed acute help to disconnect him from the phone.
And you can do that, can you?
Of course I can do it.
Of course I can. All right, fair enough.
Okay, listen. So he's on this Friday. He has his Verteidigung. How do you say this? So he's having his. Say it again.
I thought you just sneezed.
So he has to defend his PhD. So
right.
The defension, yes.
Wow. Okay, so you're supporting him with that. What about the other demographics then?
So the other demographics are, of course, 50, 55. We called it in the past midlife crisis.
Yeah. Had a few of those. Yep.
Yeah, you heard about those?
I had my first one in my 20s. I had it a bit early, but I understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, but that's true, Carlos. The people between 20 and 30, just to make this group complete, they also have already a crisis.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing, and they need so much support and so much guidance and so much, positive words that they. Okay, so the other group, midlife crisis, I think actually everyone is in need. Yeah, just to make this clear to everyone. Everybody.
Marion, I need to finish the show here. Mrs. M's coming on to do a barefoot broadcast. I can imagine you on that show as well, chatting with her. There she is. Are you doing a barefoot broadcast this morning, Mrs. M?
Yeah.
You are. She is. So I need to get out of the way. Basically, is what I'm saying. What's that?
My show.
You can plug your show. Check this out.
Hi.
Do it into the microphone. You know what to do.
Yeah, okay. I actually had just forgotten I was going to do a show, so I had to do an emergency run to the bathroom and quickly put some makeup on.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a lovely.
Beautiful, by the way.
Thanks. Hello, Marion. Hi, Raquel. How are you?
Hi.
I'm doing a barefoot broadcast, so I'm talking to Felix Hyde about the invisible structures that some people can sense, a bit like migratory birds can sense, like their paths and things. So I'm talking to Felix Hyde, who works with different energetic structures. And we're going to talk about how you can be playful with your own.
With your own
structures.
Okay. All right. Excellent stuff. A little bit of
10:05 on the Barefoot Broadcast channel.
So energetics, intuition, I think, energies, those sorts of things. Sorry to come to an abrupt end here. But you've been too interesting, Marion. That's the problem here this morning. So I'm wondering if you might come back and join us.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll talk to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
No, thank you for being here. It was great to meet you the other week, and a week ago today. And now look, you're a resident on the Good Morning Portugal show. That's fantastic, just like Raquel is. So thank you, Raquel. Thank you, Marion. Hi, Louise. You look marvelous, says Jim. Good morning to you, Jim. I'll pass that on. And this is amazing. Love it, says Louise. I'm going to play a little bit of video as I give you a nice big round of applause, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next month, Raquel and Marion. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao, and bye for now.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
See you. We're going to play some video for you.